Are you a robot? I asked that question because a robot is programmed. A robot is programmed in a laboratory or a warehouse or wherever it's made at with a set of instructions. And all it can do is whatever those set of instructions tell it can do. And a lot of us at home are living the same way. We programmed by our environment. We programmed by our parents, our guardians, or whoever raised us. We programmed by our experiences throughout life. The things we seen, the things we lived through, all of that programs us subconsciously. And a lot of us can't get over the hump because our programming is off. Or we think about this, we think about a certain subject a certain way, and it prevents us from getting over that hump. Today we're gonna talk about some different programming, and I'm gonna challenge you at home. If you hear any of these topics and you program a different way, or if you feel a certain way about anything that we talking about, I'm gonna challenge you at home to challenge your own program, to making sure your thoughts are your thoughts, and it's coinciding with positivity, and these thoughts gonna get you over the hump. Let's talk about religion. Christian, Islamic, Buddhism, whatever you may believe in, or whatever religion you may follow, that religion should coincide with your core principles. It should be stuff you believe in. You should be able to explain your religion to anybody. Don't be a Christian just because everybody in your family been Christians. Don't be a Muslim just because your husband is a Muslim. Whatever you believe in should coincide with whatever in your heart. If your religion, your faith ain't yours, then you're a robot. If you don't believe in what you following, then you're a robot. The same thing goes with politics. Politics, if you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you independent, whatever party you side with, those core beliefs should be in your heart. You see a lot of people just vote just because that's what somebody else told them to, or just what their family is. You know, you can ask, if you're a Republican, if you choose to be a Republican, if you choose to be a Democrat, you should know the issues. You should know why you're a Republican, or you should know why you're a Democrat. And you should know what's the difference, why this person thinks like this, or why this person thinks like that. You should do your homework. Those issues should coincide with your core beliefs. A lot of times we program differently, and we just vote just because everybody else is voting the same way. I was at the library maybe like 3 weeks ago. Everybody know we just had an election, and outside of the library they was campaigning. And so before I went into the library, the lady stopped me. "Are you registered to vote?" I said, "Yes, I'm registered to vote." She said, "Do you know who to vote for?" And I started laughing. I'm like, "Yes, I know who to vote for." And then she asked me, "How do I know who to vote for?" And I'm like, "Because I've been watching TV, I'm watching the issues, and I'm paying attention. So whatever I feel like voting for, I'm gonna make sure that I'll be able to pick the right candidate." And she was like, "Well, just in case you have some trouble, here's the paper right here. We circled everybody on here that you should vote for." And that's programming right there. So she gave me a paper with 9 candidates circled already, telling me I should vote for these 9 people. I understand that she felt like that I was black, that I probably was a Democrat, and those people on that paper was all Democratic nominees. And I understand what she was saying and where she was coming from, but you just can't give me a piece of paper and tell me to vote for these 9 people. Just because all these 9 people are Democrat, that don't mean that I'm gonna vote for all these 9 people. And you can't look at me and tell me and just be able to guess that I'm a Democrat just because I'm young and black. What if I was a Republican? I could have got highly offended from her. I could have called the voting people and did all type of other stuff. But my whole point is, this is how we being programmed. Like, you should never just take a sheet of paper from somebody and just vote for 9 people just because somebody else telling me to vote for those 9 people. But I'm pretty sure it was a whole lot of people who took that paper and voted blindly on those 9 different people. But that's politics. So whatever you believe in, whatever party you side with, just make sure those beliefs coincide with your heart and what you believe in inside, and just make sure that you not being programmed, that you making your own thoughts and you know why you making those decisions when it comes to politics. TV and games, oh my, those are major programs on us. And these days, the games even start off smaller with the kids. You see kids 2 and 3 who know how to work a phone and how to get to the games on the phone. Or soon as they get 6 or 7, you see them glued to the Xbox and PlayStation 2s. You see kids out doing Fortnite dances who ain't even at the age of reading. My little nephew is like 4 or 5 years old, and he fascinated with guns. And where he get that from? Seeing his older cousins and relatives play Fortnite and Call of Duty. And so that's programming. I mean, right now as a kid, it might not be a problem, but what about when they get older and they still want to, when those toy guns turn into real guns? That's a program that you ain't gonna want to deal with. Or that when the kids can't read or write because they've been on games since they was 2 or 3, so it's dulling their senses. That's programming, and that's programming our kids and the youth the wrong way. The same way with TV. TV is called TV program. So you got to take in moderation what you see on TV. But TV set the trends, for everything in society you see. Just think about it. In the 80s and the 90s, everybody wanted to be super skinny. Now, or these days, everybody want to be super thick. You see girls running off, getting butt implants and getting their hips widened and things like that. It's all because of what they see on TV. We all programmed a certain way. What looks good to us, to you, you may like a skinny girl, but the programming on TV is telling the girls, you gotta look like this, you gotta look curvy, you gotta have this big backside, you gotta look like this to fit in. The same way with trends on dressing. A couple years ago, it was you seen everybody with real big baggy clothes on, and the clothes hanging off their butt. Now it's the opposite way. The clothes are real tight. They super small, and you gotta look. This is now the new cool. Back then, the cool was baggy clothes. Now the cool is tight clothes. But at the end of the day, it's all programming. What's cool should be whatever you decide to put on that day, and whatever makes you feel great, and whatever makes you feel a certain way. That should be what's cool. What's cool should be what's cool to you, and not what society wants us to be. But TV and games are major programming. So you got to watch what you got to take into moderation both gaming and TV, and pay attention to your surroundings, and see where those programming are affecting you. Money. We all programmed by money different. Some of us cherish money, and we'll do anything to get it. Some of us don't put no value on money at all, and we can care less, and we can have tons of it, but we don't cherish it. And your money programming comes from how you were brought up and how you were raised. So however you feel about money, those feelings should just come from you and not from someone else and someone else's program. Environment. I think environment has the biggest programming on us, because environment is something we can't get away from. An environment is everything around us. The environment could be our house. It could be our school. It could be our neighborhood. It can be our city. But the environment is everything that's surrounding us. And the environment plays a huge part on our program. I'm from the inner city. I'm from the ghetto. I'm from the hood, and that played a major part on my programming, because growing up, we just looked at things different. The things that may have not been cool to some people in the inner city, it was cool to us. We looked up to the drug dealers in the neighborhood. Why? Because the drug dealers are the ones that we seen successful. The drug dealers are the ones that we seen with the nice cars, we seen with the fancy clothes, we seen with the big houses, and the drug dealers are the ones who came through the neighborhood and took care of everybody. So subconsciously, we being programmed to sell drugs, because when we see success, we see drug dealers. So when subconsciously, even though I had no intentions to sell drugs when I was a kid, guess what? I wind up selling drugs because that was my programming. and everybody in my neighborhood was selling drugs. I mean, it was just a way of life. I mean, some of us went to work, but we still sold drugs. Like, and that's just programming. And your programming might be different if you grew up in a trailer park, or if you grew up in Timbuktu and you don't see people, whatever that may be. And I'm not saying that that programming is right. I'm saying that programming is wrong, but environment is something that plays a huge part on our program. So all in all, I want everybody to take a look at their programming and make sure that they tuned in to the right channel. Because when it comes to your life, you the only one with the remote control. You the only one that has the power over the decisions that you make. And so don't be a robot. Don't be RTD2. Take control of your life.